Are you sick of dull, boring diet food? Me too. So stay tuned and see 7 tasty meals I've made that, to be honest, would even be good enough for a date night. Why am I doing this meal this week? Well, to be honest, after 14 months of doing this, I have been sliding off the rails, and I'm having to think about what's worked in the past. And what's worked in the past for me is making delicious meals that I look forward to having, that excite me and feel a bit of a treat. And the ones I've selected are ones that you could possibly even use for a date night. Now, I'm not a cooking channel, I've got no intention of being a cooking channel. I'm just a middle-aged guy that likes good food, that used to like it too much, which is why I got to this place in the first place. So strap in and we'll get going with them. The first one up's a bit of a cheat because it's one I released as a short a couple of weeks ago and I forgot to shoot any normal widescreen footage. So I'll let this idiot tell you about it. Food tracking surprises me. I banged this together tonight and it was purely because I fancied it. But when I entered it into my fitness pal, 500 tasty. Doesn't even look like diet food, does it? And the steak, just as I like it, a bit on the rare side. And it really blew me away coming in at just over 500 calories with nearly 50 grams of protein. Now you could have had chips or sweet potato fries. It's just, you can have a really tasty steak dinner and be on plan. Now surely that has got to be the days worth living for when you're on a diet. Boom. Let's see what's next. Tonight's meal is going to be a bit of a treat for me. It's always been one of my favourites. Crispy chili chicken with katsu sauce and a few veggies. It's the sort of thing that makes dieting feel a little bit less of a chore. It's nice food, but it's still rooted in being sensible. I'm basically going to turn this rather small pile of ingredients into a yummy meal. It's basically some chicken drum because I'm tight, Yutaka curry sauce, bit of corn flour, 60 grams of rice and a few veggies. There's going to be some spices to go in the corn flour, but boom, it's a cracking meal and it's only 628 calories. Now I use chicken drum fillet because A, it's cheap and B, I'm tight. So there it is, all chopped up. Next up's a bit of corn flour. Don't worry too much about it because you will leave, about weighing it. I usually go for about 20 grams, but you will leave some behind. Bit of garlic in there, bit of chilli. Obviously only put things in that you actually fancy. Bit of salt, really does need a bit of salt because it just makes it taste, salt always makes stuff taste better. Mix it up, fire your chicken in and just get it all coated with a bit of the seasoned corn flour. And as you can see, there's a lot of the corn flour left, so I just guess at the quantity on that. But as I said earlier, this kicks in at 628 calories, and that's it. You'll fry it a bit first. Now I really love the Yutaka curry sauce, purely because of the taste, but a lot of people use the Mayflower stuff you can buy from Home Bargains. So you slice off about 20 grams, short by 6 grams, so that'll take these crumbs, and I bet it won't be far off 20 there. And it is just literally blend it in with a bit of water and bring it to simmer. And at this point I can smell the frying pan's getting good and hot, so I'm just going to go and fire the chicken in. And you literally just fry it around until the edges go brown. It's not rocket science, because you're going to take it out, let it cool a bit, and then throw it into the air fryer. Now for my rice, I just weigh out 60 grams, and I always cook using the absorption method where you add twice as much water, so 120 grams of water, and bring it down till it reduces. I just find it makes that a little bit stickier if you do it that way. Not saying that's how you should do it, that's what works for me. As you can see, it's starting to brown off a bit now. Then we'll leave that to stand and it'll go in the air fryer. People ask why I use the cheaper cuts of chicken. Well, firstly because I'm tight, and secondly because I think they taste better. I think breast is wasted on a meal like this, whereas something like thigh or even better drum, it's got that slightly higher fat content and I think it tastes better, and there's loads of protein in it. How much protein, I hear you ask? Well, according to MyFitnessPal, the whole meal kicks in at 48 grams. So that's a half decent whack of protein for a very simple meal. So 12 minutes in the air fryer and the chicken's nice and crispy. I've steamed the veg. Okay, I haven't steamed the veg, I've thrown them in the microwave, but steam sounds much better. And I've made my curry sauce. God, I love Utaka curry sauce. And because I want to make it feel like a bit of a treat, I've laid it out quite nicely. With a new plate I've got from my mum. She's good to me, isn't she? And the secret now is in the pour. I like to keep the curry sauce to one side because I like to dip the crispy chili chicken in. Now fair enough, it doesn't quite look like a takeaway, but I think we'll agree that doesn't look bad. And for nearly 50 grams of protein and just over 600 calories, it's a diet meal that actually feels like a treat. I'll let you into a secret. I'm probably not going to use the chopsticks on this. Well, don't know about you, but that don't half look good. It's also one of my favourites for eating during the week as a bit of a fakeaway. The next one up's a bit of a cheat because I had a packet of sauce that was big enough to serve two, so I served it two different ways. It was a Wagamama hoisin sauce. Well, the whole point of these quick cooks is to have a meal that you're going to enjoy, because the whole point of doing this is to create meals that are actually nice rather than your steamed chicken, your bloody boiled broccoli and beating yourself up over a few carbs. Tonight is a real test because I was a bit late getting round to cooking. It's getting on for 8 o'clock and I want this in my belly by 8:30. So here's tonight's ingredients. 200 gram of cut chicken drumstick because I'm tight. Selection of mixed veg from the bottom of the fridge. Some basmati rice and a Wagamama, other brands are available, hoisin cherry sauce. Let's see what it turns into. You can guess it's going to start in a wok. Wasn't exactly rocket science. You stir fry some veg and some chicken and you throw some hoisin sauce over the top and then you dish up your rice. I think I've messed that up. I think I missed the bit where I served it over the top. The recipe calls for you to mix the rice in with it. I find it nicer to have the hoisin chicken and veg on top and let the sauce run into the rice, but horses for courses. Again, I sprinkle a few spring onions on top to make it look nicer and give that little bit of fresh crunch. And most importantly, it's on the table in 20 minutes. Now this kicks in at 537 calories and 47 grams of protein. And more importantly, on the table in less than 20 minutes. And it doesn't look like your typical beige diet food. So it feels like you're eating a treat. If you're enjoying what you're eating, you're going to stick to the plan. So that's tonight's little chuck together. It was a bit of a late one, so it was a rush job. And let's see what we do another night. Thanks for watching. Here goes another diet meal that doesn't really look like a diet meal, so let's see what I started off with. Some chicken drum meat because I'm tight. This only costs, £3 for 600 grams. That gives you, if you're having 200 grams, which is a fair wadge of protein, that gives you 3 servings for £3. It's £1 a serving. A leftover noodle nest, the other half of the packet of Wagamama hoisin sauce I used the other night, and a pile of mixed veg. Doesn't take a genius to work out what this is going to be, but I love Asian inspired food, so what's not to love about hoisin chicken with noodles and veg? It's dead easy. I'm not going to insult your intelligence by showing a lot of cooking, because you just fry the meat, throw the veg in afterwards. You've already boiled the noodles, you chuck them in, you pour the sauce over it. If there's not enough sauce, you add a bit of water, a bit of soy, whatever, and we'll show you at the end, and I'll let you know how many calories and protein it was. I say these are all easy meals. This one's going to be on the table in less than 15 minutes. What else do you need? As I said, it's great having a wok. You just throw everything in and stir it all up till it's cooked. I'll be honest, I'm probably struggling a bit to find really Insta-worthy meals, but I'm also using this week as an opportunity to use up some of the garbage that's in my cupboard. But I think you'll agree that most of them are the sort of thing you could put out as a bit of a treat that's a bit different. And it's not beige chicken and broccoli.
This is a reminder, noodles.
Shut up, Alexa.
This is a reminder, noodles.
And it's not beige chicken and broccoli. Well, it's probably not the prettiest one, but there you go. Another one that's kicked in at 540 calories and 45 grams of protein. I prefer it when I use udon noodles because they're a bit thicker, but I only had some of the thin ones from Co-op in. But yeah, I'm going to enjoy that. It's a big bowl. It's quite filling. It's not a ready meal. It's not garbage. It's not beige. What's not to like? Chicken and sweet hoisin noodle stir fry. This was actually on the table, including preparation time, 12 minutes. It's not rocket science and it's not hard. And it's a bit of a challenge. It's the end of the week and I've got very little in, but I'm determined to make it work. So it's going to be a vegan dish, and it's going to be with things I had left in the kitchen. This should be interesting. Well, there's two surprises with this one. First, that it kicks in at 523 calories, and even more surprising is that it kicks in with 28 grams of protein, which I know is a bit lower than I've been having, but 28 grams of protein from just vegan food, you can't fault it. So let's see what we've got. We've got a block of tofu smoked tofu, hoping that'll have a bit more flavour. 200 grams of sweet potato, some rather sad looking veg from the bottom of the fridge because it's the end of the week and that's all I've got left. Might add some mushrooms to that. Some Mayflower curry sauce, some seasoned corn flour, some spray oil, and because I'm going to stir fry the veg, I'm going to need a bit of soy sauce. So let's cook it. Right, so the corn flour you season with, I've used pepper, chili powder, some salt. I think I put some garlic salt in there as well, and you just try and get as much of it stuck to the tofu as you can. Not the easiest thing to do because tofu's not that sticky. Now, before anyone judges me, I've never pretended to be a cook in these videos. I'm just a guy who works in an egg factory that is doing the best to cook for himself during the week. So if anyone on here knows a better way to do this, please tell me, because it is something I actually quite enjoy, but I never get it quite right. So what I do is I spray a bit of oil in the pan, put the tofu in, crisp it off till it goes brown, and then I take it off and put it on a plate. Because the next step is that I throw the sweet potatoes in as fries, and then just before the end I put the crispy tofu in to crisp up a little bit more. And I use the pan that I did the tofu in to do the stir-fried veg. It's not rocket science. I've never planned on being a cooking channel, so I've talked you through what I do. I think the next best thing is to show you what it looks like. Well, there you go. I wouldn't say it's my finest moment, but and some of you might say it's cheating because I've already had crispy chili chicken this week. However, I'm relatively happy with that. It looks nice enough. The veg looks suitably sad, but it was getting towards the end of its life, but I'm not wasting it and I'm not having a takeaway. So all that's left now is to whack a bit of curry sauce on it. Yeah, oh, forgot something else. But I've sprinkled of spring onions because that's what I do with nearly everything because I think it tastes nice. Now, as I said, not my finest moment, but it'll do for a Friday night and it's not beige. I never seem to be able to get sweet potato fries right. I've tried with more oil, less oil, soaking first and drying. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think tonight's somewhere in the middle. If anyone knows how to nail the perfect sweet potato fry, let me know in the comments below because I will love you forever. But tonight I'm going to cook one of my favourite quick low-calorie meals. It literally takes less than 20 minutes and there's a few little hacks that keep the calorie count even lower. So here we go. So it's a nice 125 gram piece of cod. And the little hack I use here is I keep my rice content low by only using 50 grams of rice, but I pad it out with about 150 grams of mushrooms with spring onion in it and some miso paste. And I mix that together to make what is the Japanese call kinoko gohan, which is basically a mushroom steamed stroke fried rice. And the beauty is you reduce your rice by padding it out with mushrooms that have got negligible calories. Now, because I'm trying to do this in a rush tonight, I'm going to do it in the air fryer with a bit of ketchup mayonnaise on it. But if you haven't got that, simple soy sauce will do. And for vegetable and colour, I like a grated carrot. I might have some pickles with it as well. So for preparation, it's literally put the cod in the air fryer with some ketchup mayonnaise. I like to put it in a parcel of silver foil because that helps it stay moist. You fry the mushroom, the chopped mushroom mix with the rice with a tiny bit of oil, and you put some miso paste in when you put some water in, and you just reduce it. So rather than showing you all the steps, I'm just going to get on with them and then show you what the plate looks like at the end. And I think the calorie count will just blow you away. And there you have it. I just love the glaze that's on the cod and the kinoko gohan. The kinoko gohan, it's just because it's got that miso and everything else and the mushroom in. It's got a really nice umami aftertaste. Now the big surprise is this whole plate has kicked in at 320 calories with a whopping 30 odd grams of protein. You really can't fault it. Now, if you've had a heavy day, it's going to help you stay under your limit. If you've been good all day, there's room to have some sweet potato fries, a snack, or even a cheeky glass of wine. It's a really substantial meal for very low calorie hits. And the thing is, you can substitute. You could put chicken instead of fish, you could have a different kind of fish, you could have more fish, so I often do that. But including the time it took me to record the video, tonight's dinner, 20 minutes. How easy does it get? Some nights when you're food tracking, you just want something really quick, and that's where the risk of a takeaway or eating junk food comes in. But luckily, I've got something in the freezer that will fill the gap and still look nice and fit in with the making each meal feel like a treat. And as it stands, we are looking at 3 ingredients. I had a Waitrose vegetarian pumpkin and pine nut fiorelli in the freezer, which I defrosted last night. Got some Doritos salsa, some Parmesan cheese, and I thought, I can't have dinner that's only 3 ingredients. So I've chopped up a few veg to throw in the steamer. Job done. This will be ready in probably 6 minutes. And there you go. There's your vegetarian ravioli with a bit of salsa on top, just to give it a bit of colour. And because I had some in the cupboard that was getting close to being out of date. Bit of Parmesan because that makes it Italian, I believe. And I'm going to throw some sliced spring onion on top because I love it. And I almost forgot, here's my side of vegetables. I say steamer, I did them in the microwave. Hot tip, if you slice mushrooms, put a tiny, just 1 spray of oil, it's a calorie, and a bit of black pepper, and ping them in the microwave for a minute. They almost taste fried, but they really keep their size and texture, and they're gorgeous. Thanks to a lady at work that gave me that tip. I really enjoy it. Well, I'm looking forward to this. It's come in under 600 calories. The pack was one I had kicking around the freezer that I hadn't fancied for the ravioli, whatever it's called. And it's designed for 2, but if I'm having it as the only thing I'm having for dinner, I'm having the whole pack. I think it's about 580 calories and just shy of 30 grams of protein. It looks like enough food for me, and it looks like a bit of a treat again, and it's not junk. And cost-wise, it cost me nothing because it was a leftover pack of ravioli from the wife. Sorted. I'm going to be honest, I've really enjoyed eating all them meals, and the last one was on the table in 4 minutes. Yeah, as we've said, I'm no chef, but I am cooking meals that are not your typical diet fare, and I'm enjoying them, and that's the key. And I think that has helped me in my own race to get back on track. I started the week with another 3 pound gain, so everything I'd done the week before had gone out the window. I'm close to my target. I'm within, well, last week I was within 7 pound of my target. This week it's back up to 10 pound, but I've got to keep telling myself I am still 8 stone lighter than my heaviest ever, and I've got to keep hold of that. And what helps to focus me is to look forward to my evening meals. Because I'm looking forward to them, I'm not picking during the day much. So how have I done this week? As I said, I've gained 3 pound, and my deficit for the week was just shy of 3,000, which gives me a daily average of just over 1,800. It's healthy, it's a 500 a day deficit, it's where I need to be to lose weight, but I've been doing this for a long time. I get a bit diet weary. I can go another 3,500 a week and still stay roughly where I am. I'm going to try and screw it down a bit. I'm not going to overstress it, but the one thing I have learned is that I do have to continue to track, because when I take my eye off the ball, I'm the same problem eater I was 15 months ago. And that to me is, I've got to treat this like I'm sorry if this is a trigger for anyone. I've got to treat my relationship with food a bit like an alcoholic treats having a drink. I am a problem eater, and I've got to keep focused on that. Some people are so lucky they don't fall back into the bad habits. I do. But at least I know that, and it's up to me how I manage it. Please let me know if you've enjoyed these recipes. I know they're not Gordon Ramsay, they're more Gordon Bennett. But I've enjoyed putting this selection together. I enjoyed planning my week so that I could put it together for you. If you've got any ideas of things that are more impressive, put them in. I honestly think some of those look like they wouldn't be out of place if you're having a date night. I don't know. But my personal favourite was, I do like my crispy chili chicken, I'll be honest. It's not particularly the most attractive one on there, but I enjoy eating it. I enjoy making it. Everything I've cooked this week has taken less than 20 minutes. If you want me to have a go at more recipes, let me know. If you want to suggest some for me to have a go at, let me know. If you look back, I don't think anything there's got more than 8 ingredients. you've got no excuse. And some of them are even suited to cooking more than one portion and freezing. It's the key, it's the way forward, it's the way to achieve a deficit. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week hopefully, and I'm happy with that.